Hi, everybody. It's Hugh, and the President's Cup tees off very soon at Royal Montreal. Team International versus Team USA. So very happy to be speaking to the captain of the Internationals, a man who's very familiar with this tournament. He played in 5 President's Cups, was a captain's assistant in 3 others. He's also a Golf Town ambassador. Mike Weir, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Hugh. Thanks for having me on.
We were talking a little bit off camera, and I asked if you were getting any sleep lately.
Last night, finally.
Yeah.
It's been a long few weeks, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. An extremely busy stretch for you. The top 6 are named to the team based on official world golf ranking points. And this week you made your 6 captains' picks. Amongst them, 3 Canadians: Corey Conners, Taylor Pendrith, Mackenzie Hughes. What was the criteria for picking those 3 guys?
Oh, there's a lot of things that go into the picks, Hugh. I mean, we used the official world ranking for the top 6. And then that's why we had switched it from 8 automatic picks to 6. So we had some leeway for more picks because of our analytics and number of things that we use to form our picks. So when you look at the list, when you look at the President's Cup list online, that's just a world ranking list. It doesn't factor in a lot of all the other things that we look at when we're making the picks.
So those 3 guys, Conners, Pendrith, and Mackenzie Hughes, what about those guys that stood out that you said, yeah, I want them on this team?
Well, let me start with Corey. I guess Corey, has been on the team before. I think is consistent this year, hasn't missed a cut all year. He's I think he's number 2 strokes gained in approach. He's a very reliable hitter of the golf ball. And I think he'll be, even more ready for it this time around. Playing at home in Canada, that's a factor. So he was a pretty natural selection. You go to Taylor Pendrith, who has had an incredible summer, winning in Dallas at our last actually international team dinner. We were in the team room and said, okay, somebody out of this room go win this tournament. And Taylor went ahead and did that. And then set up a great summer for him. Just played outstanding golf. His strokes gained putting is much improved. His all-around game is really good. He's great in the team room. So that was another natural one. And then it came down to a number of guys for the last few picks. I won't say Mackenzie was the last pick, but he was in amongst the last couple of guys. Mackenzie, he's kind of a short game specialist, but I don't want to define him just as that. He's a great all-around player. Watching him the last couple of days up in Montreal, he's driving. All the guys said, boy, he's driving it good. He's driving it long. He's got a lot of fire inside. I think his match play record in the world match play has been very strong. So head-to-head matchups, he's very good. He partners well with a lot of our top 6 automatics. That was another one factor that we looked at, among other things. And I just believe he has the guts inside to handle these big pressure moments. And not that the other guys don't, but I believe Mackenzie will step up big for our team.
Yeah, let's talk about Mac a little bit. I mean, Taylor Pendrith and Corey Conners each have some President's Cup experience. Mac's a rookie. He's coming into this kind of a wide-eyed rookie. What are you telling him? What advice are you giving him about kind of the special pressure for a tournament like this?
Yeah, just trying to make him aware. I think, having guys and other assistant captains that are in his ear a little bit, telling him a little bit about it. Mac's a real student of golf and the game. I think he's been watching videos of past President's Cup. When we stand on that first tee like we did just the other day, while the grandstands are still being built and things, but just tell him about the different kind of energy that is brought when you step up on the first tee of a President's Cup. It's different than any other tournament, different than a major championship. So just kind of making him aware of that. And like I said, I just think Mac's going to handle that just fine. And actually he embraces that. He loves talking to the fans. I think when he's at the Canadian Open on the rink hole, puts the jersey on. He embraces that, which is great. He'll get the fans really going.
Yeah, the fan. We're going to get to the fans in just a little bit. So
Excuse me.
As great as those phone calls were to make to Corey and Taylor and Mackenzie, you probably had to make a couple of not so fun phone calls to Adam Hadwin and Nick Taylor. How did those go?
Yeah, and Cam Davis too,
yes.
who's an Australian guy. They went as well as expected. I mean, better than expected, probably. I mean, they're extremely tough phone calls, as you can imagine, from my standpoint. As I said, the media call the other day, like I look at them like little brothers. I'm rooting for them all the time when they're playing. If I get a chance to play a practice round with them, I really enjoy that. At the Masters, so to speak, and difficult phone calls. Unfortunately, we don't have a 14-team roster. We only have 12, and when you're cutting it down and looking at matchups and form and all that kind of stuff, tough decisions are going to be made. I wish I could have had them all on, but unfortunately I couldn't. But they handled it really well.
How close were you to saying, I'm going to take all 5?
There was some of me that wanted to say that, but none of the other captains have done that in their various countries, and Gary in South Africa, or Australia with Peter Thompson, or none of the guys have done that. It's just not fair to the whole international community. Like from the get-go, I've said this is an international team. It's not just a Canadian team. Yeah. We have the most Canadians we've ever had in a President's Cup at 3. We were looking like, maybe earlier in the summer it could be 4, the way it was shaping up. Fortunately, it didn't happen. But, Nick and Adam are going to be on this team in the future. They're going to be big parts of this team. They have, Adam's played a couple already, and Nick's going to be, working towards being on the team the next time in Chicago and hopefully Australia and down the road. So I'm heartbroken that they're not on the team, no doubt. But they're great guys and great players.
Yeah, tough choices for sure. I don't envy your position in that respect. So now the team is set. How much thought has gone into the strategy of kind of who gets paired with who, or is that something that's kind of already been talked about a lot, or is it you kind of waited till you want to see who is going to be on the team?
No, we had a lot of discussions even before the picks, talking about matchups. That helped form our decisions on the picks, because we started looking at that quite early. And it's continually ongoing. I mean, there's infinite number of matchups that are actually really good from our side. Also makes it difficult because when you have a lot of choices, it makes it difficult. What's the best one? What's the best matchup to go out there? But I think getting ahead of it and talking quite a bit about it is the best strategy, at least for me, to wrap my head around it. So tournament week, we have a great idea. And like anything, you have a plan, and then you're going to have to probably pivot during the event. And there might be some, things that happen where, maybe a matchup you thought was really good isn't working well, and you have to switch up some partners. And 4-ball and foursomes doesn't necessarily mean 2 guys work really well in foursomes, that they work really well in 4-ball. So there'll be a number of different combinations that we'll use in those 2 different formats.
Yeah, I think not enough attention has been paid to how much chemistry is important in a tournament like this. It's not necessarily just pitting your 2 quote unquote best players against their 2 best players. It really has to be a team dynamic, doesn't it?
Oh, it totally does. And we were fortunate enough to have Doug Armstrong, the GM of Team Canada, GM of St. Louis Blues, in town with us last week, and John Cooper, the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Team Canada coach. And we talked a lot about that camaraderie, teamwork, the team room, the bonding going on, and that was another factor that we looked at. And we just have a great group of guys that really like each other. They love being around each other. We played a little 3-hole match the other day. All 11 guys teed off at once, and we had a small little purse for a low score after 3 holes. The top 3 guys, and there was lots of needling and giving each other, back and forth. It was great.
Can I ask who won?
Kind of things to, pardon me?
Who won?
Jason Day.
Okay.
Jason Day won. And Steve Wu was second, and Corey was third. So they all got a little cash.
That's great. We touched on the fan aspect a little bit earlier. What's your message to fans at Royal Montreal?
Be loud, cheer our guys on. I think that's, I can relate from 2007 when I walked out there on that first tee and felt the energy from the crowd. Not only in my match against Tiger, but other matches during the week. Just gave me a real boost. And wasn't a pressure thing. It was more of come on, Mike, let's keep going, keep pushing. And that's what our guys need. We got a tough opponent. If we can get the fans really behind us and really make it feel like a home country, home field advantage, so to speak, I think that could be the difference, hopefully.
Yeah, I would show the guys that video of. I'm sure they've already seen it of you head to head versus Tiger. That's if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will.
Yeah, it was a special moment. I mean, for sure. And this thing from 2007 to now is, I don't know, it's going to be 2-3 times bigger. The build out, the atmosphere there is going to be, I really feel, electric. So I hope the fans come out and really cheer on our guys, and I think they will.
Yeah, you mentioned that you want it to be a home game, and it definitely will. The Maple Leaf will be flying loud and proud at Royal Montreal. Mike, all the best luck to you. We're rooting so hard for you, and we'll see you there.
Okay, thanks you. Appreciate it.
Mike, thank you.